greatest thing.
Three,
two, one, and we should be in now.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Sunday on the Dot Lot. We are here with what I am going to say is a much anticipated episode. I've been looking forward to this game for a while. So welcome back to the Owl. And I'm going to pass it right on off to Marcy, who's going to, I'm sure, drop us right into whimsical fun.
Well, not quite yet. First, I want to support the Dot Lot itself as a thank you for hosting us. If you want to support the Dot Lot, you can do so by subscribing or giving bits and tips. Everything you give goes right back into the channel and helps pay for the cast that you see on the screen. You can also donate all year long to the Dot Lot Extra Life campaign, where Dot is raising money to support the Miracle Children's Network. And every bit and tip that you give, even if it's to Extra Life, helps to fill the curiosity bar, which you see at the bottom of the screen. I think it's this one.
It's somewhere in there.
It's somewhere. When it reaches $50, you can expect curious and weird things to happen in the game. You can also show non-monetary support by simply following the channel, and you'll never miss what's going on. Now let's see if I remember what happened last week.
You got this, Marcy.
I do. Let's talk about why they have come to this race. By some mere happenstance, this party of a Pangoliath, a Sedna, and a Maeve, and a Munster, and a Carmine, they have happened to be in the city. They happened to be looking for a criminal who might have connections to their mutual friend Sariaros. They came here looking for this criminal, finding nothing, very frustratingly, except for a small frog who had signed paperwork saying that they were indeed some owl of Lysia, which turned out to be a weird happenstance, as nobody knew that name except for the town guards. It was then privy to this party that this person was indeed a criminal who'd been committing acts of robberies. from various people around the town, mostly people who engaged with the indentured servitude that tends to plague Demir. From here, they wandered. They were curious in the races, and they decided to sign up. And lo and behold, there was somebody with open spots, a woman named Zero Zano. God, I still haven't looked up her name. Pro streamer. Who hired them on the spot with the caveat that they don't have to win. All they need to do is finish the race. Later on, not that evening, but the following day, they were invited to a ball that was frequented by all kinds of walks of life from all over the world. Everyone there had some sort of representation in the form of dignitaries or nobles, except for Orison, which was not present for the reason most likely that it takes a lot of umbrage with Demir's flagrant use and continued use of its economical slavery, for lack of a better word. At this party, some of the members noticed that the opening dance was a little bit flopped on by a nobleman's son. This nobleman in particular being the president of Vyag's son, who did a few missteps in his dance with the child Hammer. The party itself, the lovely people you see around the screen, decided, well, we can do better than that. And upstaged
We're so humble.
the royals in their own house. They, in this way, earned the favor of the child Hammer, who actually rather liked this. It was a much better change in pace, and Barrett Helm cannot dance. And meanwhile, it earned the ire of said president's son, who ordered his valet to put him in the races tomorrow. In addition, Sedna had run into a curious person inspecting people's fingers and necks, possibly to steal something for them, but noticed that this woman wasn't making any actual moves against them, simply asking them questions, who they were, saying that they were taking a census for the races, which didn't sound right, but Sedna didn't really know anything about the races to ask too many questions about it.
She was clueless.
Yeah. Between Munster and Maeve completely upstaging the nobles for this dance, Munster's use of practical party magic and Maeve's use of interpretive and very artistic dancing in the Gantz-like fashion of going and showing off an entire season and a yearly change. Pangoliath also providing support whilst riding upon a palanquin supported by floppy asparagus people. And taking the favor of a very young, maybe 9-year-old Tannin child who claimed that she was indeed a princess.
She's a
And
princess.
Goliath put a tunic on them and made them
It's a frock.
out to be, yeah, the frock, put a frock on them and made them out to be a servant. We ended last session with that child sitting very clearly on the throne, her horns poking out behind the table. All the while, Carmine, though player absent, was assumed to be trying to stalk out crimes.
Very specific kinds of crimes.
Yeah, race crimes. Racing crimes?
Let's go with the racing crimes.
Yeah.
Sounds so intense. I love it.
I'd like to find some crimes. Yeah, that's where we left off this session. We in the morning, it's very early in the morning. And the party is getting ready in various forms for the day. By early, I mean our equivalent of 5 a.m. The sun hardly is up yet, although you can see that the sky, that the penumbra is being chased back into a bright dawn. And the race course and the yard itself is beginning to stir. Everyone here is getting ready in their own way for the day, making sure that they are ready in some capacity. Some of them are racing, some of them are not. Let's find out for your bonus today what your character is doing to prepare.
So Maeve finds the old Gans tree in town and sits underneath it and is talking to it. But while she's doing this and kind of just talking about the other Gans who live around the area and the change of the landscape that's happened since this tree has been awoken, she's also sending her own like feelers through the earth to kind of get a better hold of the landscape and the life within this landscape. And out in front of her is a map of the race course that she is also studying while she does this. So getting a very practical sense and an imagined sense of the course they're about to take and the life forms that they're going to probably encounter.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me an intellect task. Difficulty for this is going to be 5. It has to do with communicating with nature, if you have any relevant skills for that.
All right, let's see. Wilderness lore and identifying and understanding magic and supernatural things.
The second one will count. My cats are communicating to me that I need to pay attention to them.
Nope, I did not make it.
Okay. You commune with nature. It isn't apparent to you now. It's not a failure for the entire day. But it's just, it doesn't strike you now. There's something clouding your ability to communicate at the moment. But you attune nonetheless. It will be easier later.
Excellent.
Go ahead and take your asset. Who else would like to prepare?
Yeah, Pangoliath is going to prepare. And for a race, Pangoliath knows that in order to succeed at the race and to come in first, he must load up on carbohydrates. So the asparagus are shoving sweet potatoes into his mouth. He has a peeled banana in each hand that he's trying to fit in between bites as they feed him. It's almost like a race to see who can get the most food. He has a giant Demirin custard shake, which is pistachio apple flavored. He's got literally a vat. And when I say a vat, this is like he was making biodiesel or something, just filled with spaghetti noodles. And every now and then they go, all right, noodle break. And they like lean his head forward. They like shove it because they don't want him to give up. They help him. And he just catches a noodle and sucks it up through his proboscis. And then he has bowls and bowls of navy beans. This is like the third track. After the navy beans, he has tiny rolls of what looks like it's sushi, but it's really just rice that's been rolled to look like sushi with jelly gumdrops in the middle instead of like tuna or anything like that. And then he tops it off with a healthy quinoa dessert, which isn't really a dessert, but to him it is. He's a pangolin, so he thinks a little different. And after he gorges himself and he's spilling over the basket of his balloon, he goes, I am ready. Then collapses.
Go ahead and roll me a might check to keep all that food down. That is a lot.
Yes, that's what he does.
It's going to be a
best.
difficulty 4 task, but you have, I think endurance might actually count for this. I'll give you an asset for it.
Yeah, he's got he also gets a reduction because of his muscles of iron since it's a might based check.
Yep. So you're looking at it too.
And because he's mammoth, it gets reduced to 1. And I'm
That's
hoping
okay.
I roll like an intrusion on this.
Right.
I popped. Where is he? We only hear his voice. He popped.
He popped. He has nothing but air now.
I got a 4. Barely.
Nice. Barely succeeded. You could feel the food starting to come up and then swallow it back down. And go ahead and take your asset. Going forward for this carb loading. Carmine, as Carmine is going about their day, they hear this conversation, or I guess about their morning. I don't imagine Carmine being a morning person.
Carmine is whatever. Carmine's actually not an afternoon person, but
okay. Just awake in the morning, awake in the evening, but afternoon is just like cat naps.
Yeah, they'd much rather be asleep in the afternoon.
That's really funny. Maybe they're solar powered, you know? The halo of fire, like it's just it's like solar charging. In the morning though, as they're going about their business, preparing as you're about to describe, they do hear a conversation. It's two Theron, very small, like timid voices, coming from a kitchen, and one of them is saying, "Where'd all the food go? What food? The food for the party? Where'd it go? I don't know. Oh, there's a trail here," and they start following it out.
That sounds like a food crime and not a racing crime. So
no, that's not a food crime.
It's a little asparagus feed. That's strange.
So how does Carmine prepare?
Carmine is actually heading towards, I was looking at the map that you gave us. They're actually heading out to, I think, point B, which I believe is a mountain path.
Yes.
Yeah. Because from their intel that they've gained in the night previous, that's where they think they need to be.
Okay. Yep. There's still going to be some availability to the audience to perceive things, but it's not a bad place to stake out. Go ahead and roll me an intellect task. Going to be difficulty. We're going to make this a 4 for this one.
Okay. Is this following tracks in any way?
Yeah, it could be, yes.
Okay. Okay, so we're down to 3. Got a 14.
Nice. As Carmine looks, they notice that there have been wheel marks made in this earth, pretty fresh ones, you might suspect, amidst the other tracks that are a little bit deeper, a little older, a little broken up. These don't appear to be the same make as the normal chariots that are used in the Prayer and Bardbird races. And that's something that they can follow. Go ahead and take your asset.
All right. Definitely following these tracks.
Yep. How does Munster prepare?
Munster spends a good deal of time trying to make headway on these plans he's been working on. Mm-hmm. Giving his little Gouda assistant flight capabilities, but it's still a long way off, like probably 2 or 3 tiers off. So instead, he's going to try, knowing that using Gouda might come in handy during the race, he's going to try to install a couple fail-safes. He liked to program a way for Gouda to just like automatically like send out a signal or some kind of noticeable thing. So if it falls off during the race, you can go find it later.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me an intellect check. Can you do me a brief favor? Can you turn off and on your microphone again?
Sure.
It is, I think there's a whining sound of some kind coming from your computer.
How's that?
Nope, still there.
Still there?
Mm-hmm.
Here, let me roll the intellect and I'll see if I can fix it on my end. I rolled a 2.
Nice. You try your best to install this device. It's not that you are unable or incapable of doing it. It's possibly not enough time. However, you are able to put together something that still will be useful that we will learn about after when you actually use the asset.
Sorry, I think I messed up the cameras.
I'm gonna fix the cameras.
Yep, the cameras will be fixed. In
Imagine-
addition, as you're working, you see these floppy asparagus carting around pieces of food, like one piece by piece. Like each of them is holding individual spaghetti noodles as they're marching out of what appears to be a kitchen. They're taking a shortcut through the tiny hallways that accommodate most of the smaller creatures around.
I'm waiting for the Sorcerer's Apprentice episode where there's just all these like asparagus people taking over, making a big old mess. Oh no.
I've lost control of them. So finally, I think that leaves us with Sedna. Sedna, how do you prepare?
I think Sedna, as usual, is probably up with sunrise, so that's pretty normal. And she's kind of excited that there's all this energy around. And so she probably gets up and does what she always does anytime there's she's never really been in a race before or a proper tournament, but like warrior-based competitions or anything that she's trained for. So she gets up and she starts by stretching, as all good warriors do, making sure she feels limber. Then she's going to go for a run. And then when she's done with that, she's probably going to go find her friend Maeve, who has one of the calmest energies, and bring her entire workout down by sitting in deep meditation, seeking Sumi as usual. And just probably sits there as long as Maeve will allow her.
If like opens her one eye and looks over.
Sedna
And
opens
then
one eye and looks at you. And does the same thing. Yeah.
Finger guns.
Yeah. Sedna probably doesn't understand the finger guns, but as long as you're happy, she's happy. And it probably quite enjoys the quiet, I think, and stillness that Maeve brings to a place. And so Sedna finds both her up and her grounding place for the day to lead into this competition. She's very excited.
Sorry, my cat took me by surprise. Both of them. Stop it. Go ahead and roll me an intellect task. This is going to be a difficulty 4.
Not a defense, just a straight intellect.
Yeah, just straight intellect. Might have to do with perceiving or noticing things that are
Okay.
hidden.
That are kind of around. Yeah, I was going to say if I had anything for that. I have tons of stuff for. Okay. Well, because I can do this and this seems relevant, I once a day, because of my ingenuity, I get to take a training in something that I've forgotten. And I forgot that I'm pretty today intellectually aware. So I'm going to go ahead and be trained in that.
Okay.
And you said it was 4.
Yes. Drops down to a 3 for you.
And we'll do this. Here we go. We'll use an effort. Why not? It's first thing in the morning. I'm feeling good. I rolled a 20. Wow.
Nice. Natural 20?
Yeah.
All right. So I'll let you decide what you want for your major effect.
Okay.
For the regular effect, as you're sitting with Maeve, contemplating as Maeve digs down into the soil, you see her lose herself as she normally does. It's from an outward appearance. Internally, she is connecting with the whole earth. There's no loss here.
Okay.
But from the outside, it's like it's sort of this trance. You notice from the sorry, the kitties. You notice from the corner of your eye there's a meeting. 3 people. 3, definitely 3. All sharing hands for a moment. You look over and you see that the Argalorians are there, still shrouded in dark clothing, the Halfton priest among them. They are doing some sort of strange dance to welcome the morning. that you've never seen before, and between them there is a ring of magic, and then it dissipates. They share some words between each other, and then pass from this place into the arena.
Interesting. Okay. Oh, I want to know more about that. Okay, I have a major effect. Cinda doesn't know a lot about magic, but she considers herself connected to the divine. I don't know if there's a way for her to maybe identify, other than the fact that it was a dance of like welcoming in the new day, if there was something more specific.
You can use your major effect to know this.
Okay, perfect.
Especially
That's what
because of
Cinda
the
would like to
connection
know.
to the divine. You are able to identify this as some sort of divination ritual. They are glimpsing into possible futures.
Are they cheating?
They're definitely using magic.
Okay, well, Cinda will meditate on that and make sure not to disturb Maeve when she learns of this information. Okay, wonderful.
Okay. With that, go ahead and take your asset going forward. The rolls are important in this case because it's preparation. The day begins. Carmine, for you to get out to point B, it takes the better part of the morning to get there. Would you like to advance onto a different point to look and see what you can see, or would you like to stake out here?
Is that where it looks like the tracks are going?
It does. It looks like they're going forward.
Then that is definitely where Carmine is going. I'm not looking for every threat. I'm looking for the biggest one.
The biggest.
I have some faith in the others.
Mm-hmm.
There's some there.
Of course. It'll take
Not
you
enough not a cat, like they can't handle a catapult probably, or whatever heck they're dragging, but
It'll take you a bit longer to get up to point C. In the meantime, as everyone is arranging their birds, Zeno meets you, which is her name. Haha, I did it. I remembered an NPC's name. Checkmate game. Zeno meets you at the race course. Who is racing for her today? I remember perhaps 4 of you, but you might have changed your mind since then.
Yeah, I think it was. Okay, I'm trying to remember back. I think Pangoliath was taking one.
I mean,
Right,
Pangoliath
and-
has the race suit. He has to take one.
Right. And then Sedna was going with Munster. Right? We were going to go in one together.
Mm-hmm.
I think that
Okay.
might have been the case. The monster doesn't really add a lot of weight, so he could probably join anyone. But
That's
to
probably true.
have even teams, that could definitely work.
Yep, and your microphone is definitely fixed. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, that sounds much better.
Yeah, USB hub apparently is not the greatest quality, so I'll have to figure that solution out later.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we had what, 2 racers representing her?
Mm-hmm. 2 chariots.
2 chariots. Yeah, and then Maeve was going with Pangoliath, right?
Can't remember how we had it set up,
I can't remember either.
but I do remember us being split
Yeah,
up.
let's split up. That way
Two.
that way they have reason to attack and kill both chariots and not just one.
yeah. We'll split the energy. Carmine, were you racing?
You know,
Okay.
Carmine was always looking for racing crimes.
Carmine's looking for racing
Well,
crimes.
Am I aware of this? Am I aware that Carmine is currently out looking for racing crimes?
You would be.
Yeah.
However, they left early in the morning to go stake out something.
Oh,
why?
man. Okay. I go to the smartest person I know, which is Munster. And as soon as I get done with my meditation, because that's the joy of meditation, right? The moment your mind's in full gear again, it's in full gear. And so she runs to Munster and she's like, Munster,
yes.
I think, and please don't judge me, but I think I saw the Argoloians cheating.
Oh.
They I was meditating with Maeve, and I know I was supposed to be meditating and not looking at the Argolorians, but they were casting magic. They were dancing, and the magic, I'm 100% sure, was some kind of like divine reach to possibly affect the race.
Is that against the rules? I'm not sure if that's against the rules or not.
He hasn't said that's mine.
Oh.
As for whether or not it's like in the grander scheme of things, I don't know if this is a wacky racers type situation where all goes.
Go gadget.
Yeah. But she says, but I need to leave a message for Carmine. He's not around. They're not around. How do I do that?
Oh, that's right. Carmine's already left. Well, you could leave something at his favorite cafe. Probably visit for a snack break.
Yes. Can you help me make that a reality?
Sure, we can spell that on a pie or something.
Okay.
And Munster, just we play every other week, so it might be difficult to remember. Occasion magic is very prohibited in Demir,
Right.
so it stands to reason that it might be illegal for them to do this.
Right.
That's what I meant. It's
But
definitely
you're not
illegal.
sure that, you're not sure that maybe they're like without a role, they're diplomats, so they might have some leniency to practice even
Diplomatic immunity.
Yeah.
Would you like me to roll just so if I have
Yeah,
that
sure.
knowledge?
Go ahead, and this would use your political knowledge as well. Difficulty for this one's going to be 4.
Yeah, I have knowledge politics. Woo!
Yes!
Skills finally can use it.
Yes! I'm glad we need to leave a note for Carmine.
You said difficulty 2?
No, sorry, difficulty 4. So
4.
your skill would knock it down to a 3.
Okay, and I'd like to use Earth's Endurance, a cipher I have and I haven't used in a while, which this broken blown glass amulet, I can aid from its once great power. The user can apply 1 level of effort to any non-combat based roll for free.
Go for it.
All right. You may hear the clicking of my touchpad as my mouse is currently disconnected.
That's okay.
Roll is 20.
Nice. A natural 20?
Looks like it.
Nice. You know that although they do actually have leniency to practice magic on this soil, they shouldn't be doing this to win a race. That is still probably very against the rules, regardless of how much they can cast in general, because it has a direct output.
Right. Okay.
And you have a major effect of some kind.
Yes. Gosh. Anyone have an idea? Like, I wasn't expecting to roll a 20. Some kind of knowledge that might be helpful. That makes the most amount of sense.
Maybe I don't know how much you know about Argolorian magic, but I gave some information on it. I don't know if there's like a tie-in to like, can we know more about what they did or who it might affect?
Yeah, by how Senda describes what they were doing, may I have maybe some
I
kind
try
of
to
idea?
reenact the dance for him.
Yeah, sure. You, as a professor of magical philosophy in Demir, would have some familiarity with the inner workings of different practices from different places, especially at the conclusion of the war, when they had this sort of conjoining of magical theorems. This in particular is, in fact, some kind of divination spell. They were looking for something, perhaps trying to suss out the winner of the race. They were pointing in the dance that Sednos described toward the sun, which means east, which means perhaps the last leg of the race.
Okay. Well, on the bright side, it's nothing like destructive. On the bad side, it is definitely, most likely, absolutely cheating of some sort. Though we can't rule out the possibility that they're here for other reasons and the race is merely a cover. All the same, we should tell our good friend Carmine in case there is some crime afoot of the racing kind.
So, can we write it in, like, it should be secret. How do we, she goes, I don't even know where this coffee shop is.
It's the one we went to. They
So-
had good
Is it the same one we went to?
Carmine might be tied up for a while. It's possible to send a message using one of the small messenger birds.
Oh, that's a
from
good
the
idea.
aviary nearby.
We'll
Most
attach
messages are sent
a
that
little
way.
snack pie to it too.
Yeah.
We'll put the message on the
Yeah,
pie.
we'll go by the coffee shop
put it
because
in
they're
the
already there.
box.
And then when we get there, we have the brilliant idea that this is probably not the best idea.
Yeah.
And should go by carrier pigeon. And
Yeah.
we attach a snack as well.
Mhm.
Love that.
They require a payment of if you have one son for a rush delivery, and then they need a specific memory of Carmine that they can imprint onto the bird.
Oh, I can do this. Let's see.
You will lose the memory though, so
Oh.
choose something wisely. You're speaking
Oh.
with a Gantz at the moment.
Okay. Okay. A memory. Oh, so many good ones. Okay. I have the memory of I have a memory of Carmine pulling the liquid metal dagger I own. Right? Didn't you? Did you? You acquired it and then gave it to Sedna. Is that right? Isn't that how that worked out? Or am I crazy?
You opened a box.
Yeah, but didn't you help with that?
I was doing census stuff.
Does it have to be a particularly strong memory?
It doesn't. It
Okay.
just needs to be one where Carmine, the person, is recognized.
I keep thinking about the murder mystery episode.
I can give my memory of Carmine at the cafe, enjoying the cafe's sandwiches.
Aw.
I'll probably get to see that again while we're here. It is a very nice memory though, and I will miss it for the time.
All right. The Gantz reaches forward with a finger that extends, this sort of sapling green finger, and touches your forehead. And with it, just pulls out, almost as if it's a glowing drop, and then holds it to the bird, and then the bird sort of suckles it off and ingests it.
Oh. Munster looks confused, turns to Sedna and asks, "Who are you?" Where am I? I simply must be going. He hops off the table and starts to walk away.
I scoop him. I scoop the mouse. And I'm like, wait, I'm Sedna.
I'm
Oh.
kidding, Sedna. I'm kidding.
Oh, she was so into it. She believed it, and you can't. She's very gullible. And she goes, I was so afraid that you had lost your memory.
Some days I wish that were the case, but sadly, it's not that easy.
But why? You're the smartest person I know.
Well, I'm still a person though, and people can do bad things.
She simmers on that for a minute as we walk to go deliver the message to the pigeon or the bird.
Oh yeah, we attach a full pie to it.
A full pie.
A full pie.
Oh, goodness.
Like a bite,
like a tiny pie.
a tiny pie,
Very small.
potentially a dumpling,
and-
whatever is
And
easiest.
the letter, whatever the letter may say, to it as well. And off it goes.
Just very slowly trying to keep airborne.
Well, I say I feel better. All I can do is go into this race and be a genuine competitor. No cheating.
Right. And if we do get attacked, I will try not to die.
Yep. Carmine, as you are heading up to Point C, it's a steep incline. You start noticing things about the rock formations here. This is most definitely the blind spots that you have been hearing about, where racers might get a bit more prone to shenanigans against each other out of the eye of the judges. You feel a hearkening to you. something is trying to reach you, something is trying to connect to you. Do you allow this?
I assume I recognize this sensation as someone trying to send a bird to me.
Yes.
Yeah, then yes.
With that, you feel that connection being made, and you don't hear it immediately. Maybe about 2 or 3 minutes later, you hear a fluttering, and in front of you lands a bird onto the dusty rock, landing more or less on top of the pie in this dusty rock with a message tied to its foot.
I try to take the message and crack off a bit of the pie crust and feed it to the bird while I read it.
The bird eats it. It's not a pretty bird. It's got this sort of tawny red fluff and brownness to it that just doesn't match in any particular color scheme ever. But there's something cute about the way it just devours the pie.
I think Carmine knows better than you be nice to these birds. They're mean.
They are mean, and they are predators.
Yeah. So reads the note.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't think I'd be punching an Argalorian today.
Oh man, that's not what I wanted you to get out of that note. It's fine. I tried.
The day. But if you're looking for racing crimes up in these boulders, I need you to go ahead and roll for me an intellect check. Task. This difficulty will be 4.
4? All right. Tracking still applies.
Yes.
I'm going to spend an effort. And then... yep, I got a 13, so...
Nice. You search around the boulders for a few minutes. At first, not finding much. It's so dusty, and it's the rock formation here is much more solid than the ground you were on earlier. So you've lost entirely the track of wheels, but you suspect because of the incline they might have tossed it aside or carried it. But as you're searching around the rock, you start seeing wires.
Like traps?
It looks like it's just wires that have been hammered into the boulders. And to your eye, it looks like, well, the birds would come across them. If it didn't hurt the bird already, it would probably cause a worse fissure into the rock and send those things falling.
Traps. All right. I think we're going to step over it for a moment and keep going, because if I let it loose now... Yeah, that seems like a... I'm going to see if I can find these people.
Okay.
Yeah, before I do anything.
All right. Keep going up.
Mm-hmm.
You keep going up. Go ahead and roll me another intellect check to find traps. This one will be a difficulty 6.
Okay.
Or find tracks, rather.
Tracks. Okay. More effort. I didn't pass this time.
Okay. You try as you might. You can't really find anything more for the sake of traps at the moment. You figure they probably are. But given your last success, what you can tell from this is that these were not laid recently. These were laid probably yesterday.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe late last night. So the chances of finding these people probably slim to none.
Mm-hmm. In that case, Carmine is just gonna hit the trap and like almost out of frustration, just like, dang it. Wreck something.
You kick it, and the wire bends underneath your foot. You can hear this cracking sound, the splitting of stone as the two pythons are drawn near each other, and then different pieces of rock are just thrown off of this boulder. It's very satisfying. You watch them, all these rocks scatter to the ground and fall down this steep incline.
All right. Disappointing.
Disappointing, but you probably saved somebody's life.
Since nobody's here, I think Carmine would start working their way to the next point.
Okay, sure thing. You start heading up toward the plateau. At this point, it's getting a little bit late in the morning, getting almost to the afternoon. The race is going to be starting at about 11 a.m. And there are people who are, oh my gosh, kitties. There are people who are getting to your points now. People carrying flags, setting up, wondering what you're doing here on the race course as they're setting up to hand off flags to the racers.
Oh, this is still me. Oh,
yes.
Carmine would just be like, inspection?
Go ahead and roll me an intellect check to deceive. You're technically doing what you say you are, but you're hiding the reasons that you're saying you're doing it.
I'm just gonna 14. So pass 4.
Oh. Well, that's a rather late inspection. Don't get run over by any birds now.
Not staying long.
All right.
Last minute trap sweep.
All right. Well, it's a 2-hour walk and the race starts in an hour, so have fun.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, you continue through. As the DM, it is my moral imperative to tell you that you will find nothing else except for trying to dodge out of the way of birds later.
Yeah. That's as much as I expected.
Yeah. So meanwhile, the racers are getting ready. The starting line is beginning to get filled. The sounds of cawing, of last minute fixes to wheels, carriages, people climbing on, testing the balance of their chariots. You all are greeted with your birds. I don't think I ever named the birds, so if you'd like to name the birds for me, you are certainly free to. You've got 1 bird for 2 teams.
I'm the worst namer.
I've got the name. Hold on.
You know what? What do they look like? I like the one that I guess Sedna's writing.
They're all they kind of all look the same. They're like large reptilian creatures with these long snouts, very red feathers. Like the like the messenger birds, they are not pretty, but they are big. They're strong. They're barky. They're very barky. They just bark so much.
I know those barks. We had some in France yesterday. Pangoliath sees one of the birds and he goes, "Oh, peritonitis! Named after the condition that killed the great Pangolini, a renowned escape artist." Sorry. Yeah. I'm naming one of the birds for Houdini's cause of death, peritonitis.
Peritonitis. Good name.
I thought it was the disease that turned you into a parrot.
Oh. Inflammation of the peritoneum.
Yeah. So, yeah. It was actually featured on a show yesterday. They did one of those fact or fiction things. and I wrote this whole elaborate fiction into Houdini's actual cause of death. And people were like, we can't figure out if this is real or fake. There's all these little real details. But yes, peritonitis. I don't know why.
All right. So, do you all want to name the other bird or
Oh, I think Senna would just name it Bird.
bird?
Bird.
Great name.
This is
Peritonitis and bird.
I wish Munster could talk to animals. He could ask, "What's your name?"
Yeah, in respect of the fact I don't actually know the bird's name, I will simply call it Bird.
I have a question regarding like crowd. Has word gone out about our little stunt last night?
Oh, yes.
Oh, how
Yes.
is the populace taking that?
They mixed feelings for the most part. Some people are from Fiat. You can see a wolf-headed anima setting up with his own bird.
Are they always carnivores? Okay, so no one's throwing stuff, but no one's actively cheering either.
It's a little of both. You're like low-key celebrities and the way that people are recognizing you, and they have feelings.
Oh, I don't.
But those are all mixed throughout. You do see that there's a small row of floppy asparagus screaming with hoarse voices for Pangoliath.
Pangoliath, yeah!
Pangoliath is nowhere to be found. However, there is a mysterious racer who's garbed in a tight white bodysuit with brown gloves and boots, and a belt, and a pair of red arches on the chest, and a black mask with a little visor and a white X. Pangoliath's dressed like Racer X for this race. 'Cause why not? But extra wide, too. Just like, oh no, I spilleth over. I look like in my basket, I look like someone was baking muffins. Like I'm just spilling over the top.
Nice. So, with Peritonitis and Bird lined up, there's a brief ceremony that happens prior to the actual race itself. It's a small one. You're not sure you quite get it, but it seems to be some sort of anthem, a Demiran anthem, and everyone is set. There are some exchanges of looks, specifically one from a wolf-headed anima and a young, call them a principe, Barrett Helm, who is wearing some sort of helmet, looks over specifically at Maeve with eyes that are on fire.
Maeve doesn't notice.
That's fair. It's very Maeve. The Argalorians are there. Their priest is not, though. You can see the priest in the stands. They exchange looks between each other, but don't look anywhere else. The rest of the racers are eyeing each other up and down. The flags are drawn up. There's a silence as the racers are bid to take up their chariots. And you get in. You notice that it's a feat of strength to be able to maneuver yourself. These are two-wheeled chariots. They are not balanced for balance on their own, rather to be driven by speed and the strength of your person alone.
Oh dear, I feel we're at a disadvantage, Sedna.
My life story, she whispers under her breath.
And with that, the loud drums begin, hearkening into a loud, rivetous pounding that stops with a large bang of metal. Confetti falls from the sky. The race has started. Roll speed checks.
One for each carriage or just all of us?
One for each carriage. If you have another person in your carriage, treat it as an asset.
Speed. Everything speed. Nope. Hey.
Do I get a bonus for being trained in piloting, specifically speed-based piloting?
Yes.
Would you like to make the roll, Sedna?
Yes, of course.
This
I'm
is
gonna
to
use
establish your place
edge.
in the order.
Yes. Oh, also,
With-
Carmine has left a glowing feather for one of the racers. If no one else wants to take it, I
Oh,
could say I took it when he offered it. I'm sorry, when they offered it.
Yeah, it's the flighty feather. This glowing aromatic quill, when used, allows the user to add 1 to their speed edge for 1 hour.
Is this
The Cypher.
considered physically strenuous at all?
Yes.
Okay. So that's two levels I get to add. All right. I'm like acting like I'm actually rolling. I just have to push a button. I'm spending a level of effort as well. So I got points.
Animals are driving me up the wall today.
we get it. Nice.
So yeah, I got a 15, but I should also have +6 to whatever this would be, so like a 21.
Okay.
Small mechanical turtle head sticks its head out the back of my balloon and just as I drop loving garbage into it, and it propels the hot air balloon further.
Who is that mysterious racer? That masked man.
So good. That's so good. We were in a race, and I was just like, Pangoliath needs a Racer X outfit. Just
Oh.
Yep. And I need another roll for Bird.
Oh. Just another speed.
What was your first one if you rolled it?
A 19.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
I
no,
didn't
I
hear
just
it.
didn't call it out. That's my fault. Yeah, I got a 19.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Sorry, I've got like 6 windows up, so I can't really do roll 20 at the moment.
Oh, I got you. I'll be
Thank you.
more worried about calling it out.
All right. So the racers pull out. The area around you, these slick, sort of glassy cobblestones, just pounding against the wheels, just as you're going forward. Pangoliath, you pull out with the rest of the racers, neck and neck with the Argalorians, into these narrow corridors that underpass various crystalline bridges toward the edge of the town. And for Sedna, you and Bird find yourselves directly behind them, leading the triangle into the other racers that are fighting for spots in between. You suddenly realize, oh, this is really good that I'm so far ahead, as they start careening into each other by accident. So you can hear the collisions, this wood splintering and clacking against each other as it pulls forward.
Then it probably lets out a big old woo, just openly and freely.
So, Pangoliath, as you're coming toward the this underpass for the bridge, you find yourself staring at these Argalorians, just these two creatures on the cart who hold out their hands at you, and you can see like the wind whipping away these scarves that they're wearing. You can see their pale white skin, and they're grinning at you, these wide grins of very, very brown teeth, and they hold up their hands at you where each of them has one of the gold rings that you gave them. Aww. And they go like that.
I do this thing like Superman. I like pull my hand forward, and then it causes me to fly faster. It's like, all right. I show them the charm. It's just like, all right, we got this.
They allow you to go forward ahead of them under the pass first, and then come in behind you.
Aw.
not fighting for space, not trying to push you into the wall. There seems to be some sort of feeling of like real camaraderie here for some reason.
Yeah, they're like,
they like the gift.
Let the wide pangolin take the force of all the wind, and let's use him as a shield. No. There's a monster on the other side. Gulp.
Yep. Maeve, you see this too, and you saw, I believe, the exchange of rings that Pangoliath enacted with them. So, Sedna and Munster, because you're in the same cart, if I offer one of you an intrusion, I have to offer it to both of you, I think.
Oh man.
Right? But don't give one to other people in this case. This is just going to be me giving
okay.
2 XP.
Okay.
I would like to offer an intrusion for an XP for both of you.
Well, you know, my standing policy on intrusions is to open the door and invite them in.
All right.
Sedna can't say no because she's currently woo.
Yep. As you're going, woo! You notice that 2 carts, either side of your peripheral vision, you are, as we preordained, noticeably more aware of things right now. So you kind of see at the same time, like your eyes are like, wait a minute, there. You see these 2 carts coming up behind you and start coming to the side, both racers looking at each other from either side. And then they swerve and start bringing the carts into yours.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Sandwich.
Oh yeah, a sandwich. Would I also be aware of what's been going on behind me? Do I have somebody close on my heels?
You have almost everyone else in the race on your heels.
Great. So stopping's not a good option. So Sedna is gonna go up. Can I want to tug at the bird and I say, hang on, monster! And then like pull the bird up.
Yep. Go ahead and roll me an intellect check to push the bird.
Okay.
This task difficulty we'll make it a 4 because the bird's already more or less going at a functional speed and you're pressing it into even faster.
Do I still offer a free
I'm
asset as just being there? Do I just offer a free asset by assisting?
Yes, I would actually like to hear how you assist in this way.
So where she is trying to make the bird go up, so we like leave the ground. Probably. Man, I can't use magic openly. That's the tricky bit.
You can. It just depends on how you use it.
Right.
Attacking other racers not great.
Right. Okay. In that case,
they're making it look like an accident that they're doing this.
Okay,
but it's a tight corridor. It
Monster
happens a lot.
Jumps on the front part or the one of the back parts, and he like stabs his needle room thing down, and he then like grabs the opening and tries to open the room up. So the opening,
That's really
the wind
cool.
catches inside the room space, and
I love that.
Just
really
immediately
cool.
rises.
I love that. Yeah, treat that as an asset.
Okay, and then I guess I still have for all day this training for intellect. Okay, so that goes from and. With his asset, 3. Oh, that's not right. I'm gonna try this again. I'm having a hot mess of it. So that should be 2 with the asset. All right, submit. Success.
Nice. So you pull on the bird's reins. These birds are not built for flying, not for long distances anyway. They're a little bit like chickens in that regard. Wind catches into the wings and also into the spare room in the eye of a needle that Munster has. It catches suddenly. You feel a bit weightless. Not weightless. All of your weight suddenly shifts into your knees and your ankles as the bird flies up with the carriage over the bridge that you're about to go under. There's a bunch of fans below you, ducking, screaming as you go over and leaving those 2 carriages to smash into each other behind you. Their carriages are more or less entirely decimated by this action. Your cart itself is still flying midair over the bridge for a short while before coming down, clattering right in back of the Argalorians.
Woo!
Oh, they probably lived.
I don't know what the equivalent of a high five is, but I want to give one to Munster. That was awesome. Teamwork.
Yeah.
It's like a teeny
like a small paw.
Small paw. I finger you paw. It's great.
My dogs are especially barky today. So at this point, you break out of the city walls. First Pangoliath and Maeve riding Paranonitis, and then followed by the Argalorians, then followed by Sedna and Munster riding Bird. And then there's a smattering of about 15, maybe 14 other racers behind you. It looks like a couple were lost in the city streets due to tight corridors or broken wheels. It's unclear to say. So That being said, you come out into Area B, this very dry, dusty area. Pangoliath, your wheels are throwing up a lot of dirt everywhere, and the Argalorians simply riding behind you. They don't seem so bothered by the dust, it seems. They are fine. However, because you are one of the first racers on here, that dirt that you're riding on, I would like to offer you an intrusion, Pangoliath and Maeve.
Well, seeing how I spend all my experience points on clothing children, I cannot refuse.
The children must be clothed. Maeve, would you also like that experience point?
Of course.
All right. So, let me pull up the thing. So, the dust flying in front of you is actually, even though it's coming up behind the cart for the most part, some of it is still flying up from the bird. In this, there are sharper, more smaller particles that provide a huge problem for your eyes, your nose, your mouth. If you try to speak, you're just getting like big old mouthfuls of bugs and dirt. I need you to roll me a task, a speed defense task, to sort of be able to, or you can roll might. Just tell me how you deal with this going on here.
All right. So I'm gonna roll. Pangoliath's monkey tail flips over his head, and it holds like a little like visor in front of him, and is kind of like trying to keep it from getting into his eyes and his face. But we'll see exactly how well he does. He is trained in speed defense tests, and I'm not going to use anything because what the hey, I could use some complications in my life. I rolled a 6. I'm gonna re-roll.
Probably a good idea.
That stinks. Oh no. And I'm gonna spend a little bit of effort this time.
Yes.
Let me see what I got. I did not do much better. I got a 7, but I used some effort.
Okay, effort is enough. It would be a difficulty 3 task.
Okay, good.
Yes. What did you get, Maeve?
Right.
Oh no.
I also got a 6. So you said it's more like bigger particles, almost like shards.
It's like shards, stone, some dust.
Okay. So I think when Maeve initially like goes to like take in a huge breath of air to like push out and create like a windshield, almost a literal windshield. Like she breathes in super deep, but instead just like inhales a whole bunch of it.
Oof. All right. Yep. You do that, and until you are able to clear that, you will now be providing a hindrance for tasks for writing. The Argalorians do not seem bothered at all by the dust. They swiftly steer ahead of you and start taking the first place for the pass as you approach the incline. Sedna and Munster, as you approach this, what is now becoming a literal wall of dust, I need you both to make me the same task difficulty roll. Difficulty 3 and this will just be to pass through this increasing wall of dust.
And it's a might
or speed. It really
speed.
Depends on how you sell it to me.
Okay.
We see this coming on pretty quick here, right?
Yes.
Would it be choosing it just to like duck inside my needle room?
No, absolutely not.
That's probably smart.
The same thing happens though. If you do that, you are unable to provide an asset to.
Right. Oh
Yeah.
man. Yeah. In that case, I'll just count on being small enough to avoid it.
It's okay. You know what? Sedna is pretty tough. That's what she's all about. She's not about speed. She's not really about intellect. She's a tough cookie. So she's gonna tough it out. When she sees this coming, she reaches in her shell, which is always at the ready. She knows where everything is individually placed, and she grabs a bandana and she quick loops it around her face just in time so that she can continue to breathe after the dust hits. But she's gonna might through this.
Did you say I could do a speed defense roll?
Yeah, it depends on how you sell it to me.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Success!
Nice.
Senna continues to yell under the bandana. So stopping her now.
Actually, yeah. This monster's just going to hunker down behind the heel of Senna's foot.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I can sell it as speed. So instead, I'll just put in a level of effort into it instead.
Okay.
Hey, got a 17.
All right, both of you, whether it be ducking down and grabbing on and hoping you don't slide off in this cloud of dust threatening to lift up your tiny mouse body and into into the cloud itself, into the massive racers coming forward, Sedna manages to drive you all through, where you find yourselves neck and neck with peritonitis. With peritonitis, and you see Pangoliath and Maeve there. Maeve's just mouth open with all this dust inside and still coughing it out, and Pangoliath's prehensile tail lifted over his face with a mask.
This is everything.
In front of you, the Argalorians are beginning to make that incline. Meanwhile, Carmine, at this point, you would have been able to walk across the plateau. It's a beautiful view. There's the smell, this distinct ozone smell in the air. You can almost always hear the sound of thunder. I don't mean that to mean you can almost hear the sound of thunder. You do. It's just almost all the time. You look above you, there seems to be some sort of perpetual thundercloud there. The ground around you is littered with these huge structures. This is supposed to be a plateau. It looks like trees. Upon closer inspection, they appear to be glass structures reaching toward the sky.
Is this new construction?
Go ahead and roll me an intellect check. This is going to be a task difficulty 3, and if you have a natural phenomenon or perhaps supernatural phenomenon of some kind.
No. Just gonna roll it. I'm gonna re-roll it. Nope. Okay.
Nice. You're not sure if this is new construction or not. All of them look different in some way, and even the top of this plateau is covered with the same substance. It's of different colors. Some of it is brown, some of it is black or red, sometimes purple. Most of the time, though, you see it to be black, kind of this tarnished clear color. And as you step across it, it strikes you as crunchy in this sort of piercing way.
Ooh, like this would hurt feet.
Yeah. It doesn't seem to be a trap, though. Just is the whole thing up here. You're not sure who would have time in an evening to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And you would have time to walk to the end of this plateau and look down where the race course continues into this very steep incline, almost a slide, into the river bottom and a bridge that crosses over into the next leg, which is the forest.
Out of character.
Mm-hmm.
Is this also goes to the party? Would it be better if I stationed here or in the forest?
I mean, forests have a tendency to catch on fire.
I like where you're thinking. Carmine grabs their shield off their back and slides down the hill. Towards the
Okay,
forest.
cool. Go ahead. Go ahead to slide down the hill. Roll me a speed task.
Speed defense or just speed?
You can roll defense because
Okay.
you could like sledding is both. It could also be might. It just
Okay.
depends on how you do it.
Gosh, I want to do this cool. I'm going to spend an XP. Okay, so I got a total of 5, or I beat a 5.
Task difficulty 5.
Yeah.
Nice. Describe to me how you slide down this hill of glass and.
Honestly, I think it's like 100% Breath of the Wild, takes off shield, straps it to one of their boots, and just like starts riding down this thing.
Nice.
Just hair in the wind.
Perfect.
Using arms to judge, to skid around.
All right. It doesn't take you too long to get to the bottom, especially with your careful maneuvering of shield on boot. When you do, you come to a river's bottom. It's damp, to say the least. Definitely much less dry than the other side of this plateau. And as you get closer to the river's edge, you can see where it's overflown in the past couple of days, and you can hear the sopping, wet soil sticking to your heels. The bridge across is stonework of some kind, very wide, and no railings on it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is it safe to cross?
It appears to be safe to cross.
Okay, I'm just gonna cross it.
Yep, you do. It's perhaps about 20 feet wide in total.
Oh wow, big bridge.
Yep. And the bridge itself is about maybe 80 feet long.
Okay, so it's a race. It's meant for like things to cross, like big things to cross it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anything you would like to do here before we cut back?
Just start walking into the really spooky haunted forest.
Okay. The forest, and this is something that would have been open knowledge to you and something that Maeve would definitely know. Normally, the forest isn't a welcome place for Therans of Demir. However, they do make exceptions, especially for holidays such as this. This is one of the one days of the year that you can walk into the forest and be assured that you will come back out without getting lost desperately within its hollows.
Just a little lost.
You could get a little lost. The pathways are sometimes hard to follow, but it won't, magically lose you on purpose.
Right.
Which forests are wont to do.
I mean, Carmine's has experienced that in the past.
It's true.
I did have to intimidate it last time.
You did have to intimidate a forest. It's true. All right. So back to you all. You all watch as the Argalorians, prayer-barred birds, take them up the steep incline. You right on their heels. For this, I need you to roll me checks to push the birds, or something to make yourselves lighter if you could. How do you approach getting up here quickly?
I think Pangoliath's going to prove why they used to call him the old king of the mountain. It's time to flex these muscles, and his little hammy legs in the back kind of like flex, and they get real nice and toned there for a second. You can't see because he's wearing his racer suit, so you can actually see the definition, and he's just gonna give it a full on yeah, bitch, yeah, and yeah. So I'd like to make a might check.
All right, perfect. This time you don't get an asset from Maeve, but Maeve, at this point, you are able to clear your Gant's mouth and tissues completely of the soil that was holding you back.
Perfect.
All right, so I'm going to use expend effort, and then I have the two different enablers to help me on this sort of thing. Or, 1, 2... I have 3 for this specific one. Thank goodness. I am built for flying birds, apparently. So, let me roll. Ugh. Alright. I'm just going to add it as effort altogether. So I rolled a 17, and I would have had -4 steps.
Beautiful. You are able to clear up and actually pass the Arglorians.
They see my nice toned hammies as I pass them. I was like, yeah, little monkey tail.
Nice. And Sedna and Munster.
Okay, are we fully through the dust?
You are. You're fully through the dust. You're climbing up a steep incline. You've watched as Pangoliath has more or less climbed. Journey of the West just became king of the mountain by aiding the bird and climbing with the
right.
Yeah.
Let's see what I've got, because there's a part of me that. Oh my. This is what's going to happen. Sedna sees this going on. This is a Flintstones moment, everybody. Sedna is going to burst her feet through the bottom. I'm trained in running. And so Sedna's going to burst her feet through the bottom of the cart and use her very flat fin-like feet to help the cart move faster so the bird can move faster. Okay.
Nice. Go ahead and roll me a might check.
Okay, I'm gonna roll it. Do you need me to roll the might to break through and then the might to run?
Just one check is fine.
Just one check. Okay. Is there a difficulty?
Because also the cart doesn't really have like a back, so you don't have to Flintstones through it. You can actually jump on the back and push.
Yeah,
it's much easier than you might suspect.
Yes, that's perfect. And the difficulty.
Can I provide an asset just because my small size for once is finally probably to my advantage?
Yes, and likely you're able to stabilize the reins at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I pass it off. I yell, "Hang on!" as I jump off the back and start running and pushing. What did you say the difficulty was, Marcy?
Difficulty for this is going to be 5.
Oh my! Okay,
very, very steep incline. Luckily, for some reason, the intrusion was removed earlier. So strange. so odd.
The spirits
Success.
are with us.
Okay, between the effort, the might effort, the trained in running, and the asset.
Perfect.
I made it.
You've done it. You also passed the Arglorians on your way up.
I wave as I'm running and pushing.
Just holding onto the reins.
Meanwhile, the other racers are approaching and following close behind. They lose some speed for the most part. Most Amiran racers and Viatvian racers, for that matter, tend to favor heavier carts. They will likely catch up on the downslope. So you crest the plateau. As you go, your carts begin running into, sounds like tinkling glass for some reason. Above, the storm clouds roil, these racers coming up. You find yourself going through what appears to be some sort of glass forest up here. It's very odd, and your carriages, the wheels, they are crunching into the top of the plateau below you. I would like to offer all of you an intrusion.
Oh my, okay.
Well, I can't refuse it. I used less experience to reroll.
Well, now you have experience points again. Yay!
I have so much XP. I need to spend it. I gotta be better about that.
Same.
Very much.
Actually, while we're taking a mini pause, I'm gonna use because I need it really bad. I'm gonna use my extra. Nope, that's not it. I have a recover. That's it. I have recover. I'm gonna take an extra recovery roll today. Yes! Okay, great. That's it.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
So as you cross beneath, starting to come very close in proximity to these tall, strange, gangly, tree-like spires of glass, you hear the lightning and thunder above you begin to crackle. And you find yourselves rolling through what appears to be a forest of not only glass structures, but lightning strikes as well.
Mm-hmm.
The lightning isn't specifically targeting you, but it is close enough to provide some severe sound and sprays of hot energy that courses around. I need everyone to roll me a speed defense roll. Difficulty 7.
Ooh.
Speed defense. Might defense, no speed. Okay, speed. Difficulty 7.
I'm going to go ahead and use my acid from this morning of the preparation phase.
That's good.
Oh yeah, this seems like an ideal time for that. You're so totally right. A great idea. Yeah.
Success.
My body's feeling all limber
Rolled
from
a 15, but I'm trained and I used an acid, so target number is 15.
Beautiful.
effort. Oh, made it to 16. Yeah. I'm feeling all limber from stretching. Nice. Dexterous.
I failed.
So did I.
I want to just give people. Can I start handing out XP? How do I do that? I want
Yeah,
to.
absolutely.
yes,
You can throw XP to your friends.
Okay.
Let's see.
Who needs XP?
I can re-roll.
Yeah, I'll give one to Maeve if you want to give one to Pangoliath.
Yeah, done. Pangoliath, you get an extra one, sir.
And Maeve,
see
you
if
can go
I
ahead and
need
take
it.
a reroll.
We'll see if I need it.
Okay.
That would be
Cannot win this one. Maybe get struck by lightning or something.
not lightning, but as
Or
the
I did worse
Actually,
this time.
oh no, as Paranitis and as your cart pass through, you feel this heat that courses through you for a moment. You're not struck by lightning, but the sound of it tremors throughout your heads, and there is a spray of glass that starts careening into your tissues. 7 points of might damage each.
Ooh.
Your bird also takes that effect as well.
Okay. Am I allowed to make a recovery roll as an action?
Yes.
I will need to do the same.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes.
Your bird is still fine. It looks a little wounded, but it's chugging. Seems a bit what's the word? Not numb to pain, but less affected than you might think by it. You lose your place and you start falling in with the rest of the racers, but you see the Argolorians also take damage as well from this spray, also lining their cart, and they fall back a little further too. And Sedna and Munster ride ahead, and before you know it, you are going downhill.
My gosh.
Uh-oh.
The moment I see that we're going from uphill to downhill and we've made it through all the craziness, I think Sedna's going to jump in the cart and use her body weight as like a push forward.
Okay.
Pangoliath is actually specialized in rolling downhill.
That's
Well,
a skill.
He just leaves everything and just finishes.
I put everything into my rolling ability. It was
It's true. Everything about everybody's character is coming into play this session.
I love it.
So strange.
Such a little physical group. Yeah, so I guess if it's our turn, that would be what Sedna would do to try to move everything that much forward. Would be to use her body weight in the cart as we move downhill.
Mustard probably try to fix the floor or patch it up somehow.
Oh wait, I didn't have to punch through it though, right?
Oh, I thought you did.
No, I jumped off the back and ran like the back side of it because I guess it was an
Gotcha.
open cart.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I hopped back in. I didn't put any holes in it. No collateral damage.
I wouldn't mind if you Fred Flintstoned it, but that's good too.
All right. Yeah, is there anything I need to roll to hop in and add weight to the cart?
Might check.
Just like
I don't think I can help with this one, unfortunately.
difficulty?
Difficulty for this is going to be a 4.
All right.
4. Would you consider balance?
Yes. Yep, balance is an integral part of how much weight.
Yes.
If we
So that would
consider
be subtracting.
balance, I'm going to not have to roll unless we want me to roll, because I'll get to the point where I have 5 steps automatically
Excellent.
before rolling.
Yep. So I got a 17.
Nice. Yep. And then quickly behind you, Pangoliath and Maeve.
Do I have to roll if I have 5 steps added already before rolling?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, just describe to me what you do.
It's one of those things where you see Pangoliath, as soon as we hit downhill, he gets that look in his eye. And he takes Maeve by the hand and he screams. He goes, "I love you!" Wah! And we start rolling. And for once, his mask blows off and you see his true pangolin face for a moment. No hat.
Nice.
The scales start to glow with an intense red color, and he's
Nice.
living his dream.
Nice. That you lose the Argalorians from sight at this point. However, all the heavy carts are beginning to catch up, kind of naturally. And as you all are approaching the bridge, first with Sedna and Munster riding Bird, and then with Maeve and Pangoliath riding Paranitis, Maeve, you can't help but notice, and perhaps you'd rather not, that catching up right next to you are the Viadvians, more specifically Barrett Ham and the wolf-faced Anima.
Kind
And
of cock my head. I'm like,
Pangoliath, you notice this too.
you look familiar. Oh well.
All right. As you make your way, the ground is sopping wet. You get to the bottom. It's not too much of an issue. It does put a little bit of mud on everybody's wheels, however. So there's a natural slowdown when you get to the bottom and then start heading toward the bridge. The bridge itself, about 20 feet wide, fairly easy to cross. Sedna and Munster, you get across no problem. I'd like to introduce an intrusion for Maeve and Pangoliath as yours and the Viadvian cart come to cross.
100%. Let's do this.
Oh yeah.
All right. So if you accept this intrusion, it's going to be a difficulty. This point, difficulty 5 task as this heavier cart comes bustling up to try to push yours into the water from the bridge.
Okay. I think I've got this. So, I have a number of advantages, but I think this is the time as the heavier cart comes up, Pangoliath just turns and just spews everything all over. As they come up to push me off the bridge.
I thought that was just a joke you put in the chat.
Jesus Christ!
You're actually going to do that?
Brent says he's gonna do it.
I thought it was a joke.
I think I'm okay with the difficulty 5 task for this. Make it anything you want. I could see it being speed, might, or intellect.
We're going might, and there's
That's-
reasons for this. It's essentially my strongest thing, and I get 1, 2, two enablers, an asset, and my effort. I've got edge in this too, so I'm happy doing this.
Maeve will hold back any appendages or like clothing out of the way.
Okay.
I'm just gonna use this to do the quick math. I succeeded.
Nice. So
I rolled a 3. I had 4 levels though. Steps.
So gross. So from within Pangoliath is this roiling, sort of bubbling sound, this rearing back of his head, and a spew of vomit from Pangoliath.
Chicken bones.
Chicken
fish
bones
heads.
and the heavy carb diet. Like the spaghetti isn't fully processed yet.
Oh.
It's still together.
You
Just
can't digest
going
it.
all over this cart, spewing them in the face. You hear Barrett Helm start screaming as their cart, instead of pushing you off, slows down, accidentally rears, breaks itself off from their bird, and goes careening into the water, sending up a splash of of river water, pieces of cart, and also Pangoliath vomit into the air before settling down unceremoniously in a splash on top.
Full corn on the cob comes out and hits him in the head.
The rest of the racers come up shortly behind as you all make your way into the forest, which Carmine has been traversing for a little while now. Just a short while, enough to perhaps get about halfway through it. It's much darker and quieter in this forest than the outside. The outside, you could hear every sound for miles. Within, it's desperately quiet. Very serene, except for the dogs barking.
That is an issue in dark, spooky forests.
Yeah, I know, right? And you walk your way. The spare leaves beneath your feet, you think you can parse out where these paths are or where they're supposed to go. You hear the lurching of the forest around. You've heard Maeve do this before. You suspect the trees are talking to each other.
Don't mind me, and just here to catch someone in the dark.
They lurch back.
I won't mess with you if you don't mess with me.
And they don't. Go ahead and roll me an intellect check to search around the area. The task difficulty for this one is going to be a 4.
Beat a 4. Oh, is it tracks?
Yes.
Okay, beat a 4.
So you take a look around for tracks. You don't see any, but you can identify why this is. You know what? It's disingenuous for me to say you don't see any. You see a lot of them, and you suspect it's because the forest is moving by the odd way that the roots are placed and where the tracks are going and how they keep ending up into the bottom of the trunks of trees around.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever was here is not super findable if there was something here. At least not by tracks. But if you could communicate with the trees, you might be able to discern something.
I have an inability at pleasant social interaction, but I'm good at threats.
It is true.
Carmine will shout into the woods. Look, I'll take out whatever they left behind in this forest for you if you just point me towards it.
There's no response.
Yeah, didn't think so. keeps on walking.
And eventually you make it to the forest's edge where the rest of the race course and back into Missouri awaits. Meanwhile, our racing crew, ahead of the group, both of you, head that last break of field into the forest. Maeve, it feels like home here. On assisting, you can count yourself as 2 assets. You all race forward. You can hear the forest lurching around. It's a little odd. Almost as if they're trying to provide some sort of confusing path. Maybe they're trying to get in the way. They are trying to get in the way. They're trying to get in the way. Group intrusion.
Oh, man. Okay.
You see the trees clearly start to move in front of you. So everybody take an XP as you are met with the moving forest.
Is this... Haha. Knowing what Munster and I now know about the spell, does this seem to possibly be connected to that? The spell that the Argalorians cast, that Sedna felt like maybe they were cheating from? Is that affecting these trees, or are they literally, this is just the way the forest functions?
This is just the way the forest functions. It's a part of the
forest. Okay.
The forest.
I'm sorry, what was the roll again?
It's going to be a task difficulty 5
Mm-hmm.
To maneuver.
Speed.
We all have to make that roll, or just one per character?
Just one character. The other may provide an asset, or in Maeve's case, 2.
So I can make this roll. I am trained in navigation and wilderness lore.
Oh my.
Everyone's using all of their skills today.
I know.
And
Using knowledge cooking.
I should have done races a while ago.
Races are great.
Right?
Can I provide an asset to Sedna by using Shatter on some of the plant life trying to get in the way?
One more time? I'm sorry.
Could I use Shatter? I can target an object, a solid object, and the object will explode in an immediate radius.
Yes. You might have to have a conversation with Maeve about that later, though.
Ooh, yeah.
What was the difficulty again for this?
Difficulty for this is going to be 5.
Oh, fail. I'm going to use an XP and reroll that. Because this one's important. I don't want to smash into the trees. We've come so far.
Right.
Monster is thinking these trees remind me of Maeve. They're just doing what they want.
Ah, success. And a minor effect. On a 19.
Nice.
And Maeve, what did you roll?
I succeed.
Nice. All right. So Maeve, you kind of just scoop your branch-like arms in front of Pangoliath, and you're like, I've got this. In a way. You can describe that if you'd like. But you are able to navigate through the trees. Communicating with them isn't quite an option at the moment, but you can hear what they're whispering to each other. And you can use that to navigate around.
Excellent. So yeah, as Pangoliath has like the manic racing face. I just kind of like slide in from like, all right, my turn for a moment. And take us through.
Nice. Meanwhile, Sedna, you are able to maneuver very easily. Not having another full-sized person in the cart, having instead a small genius mouse, makes it a bit easier for you to maneuver the cart on your own. What's your minor effect?
Ooh. Does the effect have to be on us, or can it be on other racers?
Could be on other racers.
I was kind of hoping maybe one more racer gets like smashes into a tree Or like I fake them out, like at the last moment, I'm like, ha ha ha, and like fake and they smash into a tree they don't see coming or something.
It's a little bit like Endor up in here right now.
Yes, this is what I've been waiting for.
Yep. You can definitely see and hear a few racers behind you smashing into trees. Meanwhile, Carmine, you can hear them coming. You can hear the racers approaching. Up in front, you look a little bit closer. It appears to be Maeve and Pangoliath.
That's surprising.
Wearing their racing faces. Right behind them is Sedna and what you can only assume to be Munster, this tiny brown fuzzy mouse.
I'm so
scampering
surprised.
around. And they are coming very quickly, moving around what appears to be moving forests. It appears that the trees were the crimes all along.
Of course.
So they are coming up to join you and probably move past you as well. There's a number of other racers behind them. You note that the numbers have dwindled down a lot since the start.
Yeah, Carmine is actually looking for a very specific racer.
Which one?
One that came up in their investigations.
Mm.
I'm looking for the person who is in charge of the poisoning and the sabotage, and I think Carmine, I would like to spend 2 XP to know.
Okay.
And attempt to set up an ambush.
All right, give me 1 second. See where I have that down. But yes, you could spend 2 XP. And for that 2 XP, you'd been researching what they looked like, maybe watch them for a bit.
Mm-hmm. My plan was to call up my entangling force and literally just pull them off the cart. Which the
entangling force creates a level 2 difficulty thing, but I would allow you to make a roll in addition to that.
Okay.
And have a level 2 supplement.
I'd also be spending some effort.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it technically, as I read how this spell works, it does happen, but they can just break free of it.
Yes.
If they're higher level.
Yes, but there's still a higher level, and it always you're attacking them with something, so the attack costs a roll.
Got it.
That's my justification for it.
Perfect.
Especially a moving target.
Yes.
So it's going to be in total a difficulty 4 for the movement, their own level.
Okay.
But you can use your entrapping to augment that by 2, and then do whatever you need to do after that.
Okay.
With other skills.
Guess we're rolling it.
Okay.
I rolled a 19.
Nice. So yeah, if I remember correctly, they look like burning chains.
Yeah, they're like correct? Glowing chains, yeah.
Glowing chains. Yep. Glowing chains erupt from your spell and wrap around them, pulling them clean off the cart. The cart goes a little faster now. Not blocked back by any particular weight. This person, I believe it's a Theron. I actually don't quite remember because I don't have my notes.
Oh no. That means we can make things up.
It's true. We can make things up. It seems to be some sort of mask-presenting Theron person who is shrouded in what appears to be a rival glass company's frock. And they are blazing mad as you do so.
I'm blazing more mad as my Bears a Halo comes out and I stand over them. She's like, hi.
You You're not supposed to attack other races.
I'm not a racer.
Oh.
And I'm gonna grab him by like his shirt collar and pull him up. Still bound in the chain and drag him out.
It's the dogs. Hold on 1 second. I gotta close my door.
The dogs of justice.
That's fine.
The hounds? Hounds of justice? Which ones are the justice?
I don't quite remember. But yeah, you drag him up. This is a very bad mix person. That mix moment for Carmine. Meanwhile, the rest of you speed ahead into this vast open field that would lead you back over another bridge which crosses the same river that you did upstream and back into the city limits. The storm has not let up. As you come out into the field, it is raining. It's this light rain that's bringing out the smell of dew, fresh rainfall. It doesn't happen often around here. You note a couple of things. The sky is darkening at an alarming rate, and it is only darkening kind of in this area. As you view Mazur from a distance, you see something odd about the way that maybe it's lightning hitting the tops of the crystal spires that are there, but there is something hovering over the city that you can't quite place. There's a stretching, and then some sort of dark figure, perhaps a large bird. There's a lot of things that come through the Missourian Skyway that you've not had to question before now, but as it does, it starts coming towards you, heading east, and then doesn't stop flying over. Suddenly, lightning starts meeting it. It's effect almost like a Faraday cage, covering it in this odd sort of blazing lightning that comes down and strikes the earth, leaving various blue mist underneath it. There's a horrible sound, some rendering screech that shatters you to your core. On a successful check, I would like to introduce another group intrusion right now. Need everyone to make an intellect saving throw, where you can spend an XP to negate it.
Like an intellect defense.
Yes, sorry. Intellect defense roll. Task difficulty for this will be 7.
Wowzer. Okay.
I can spend an XP to bypass it?
Yes, you can, because it was an intrusion. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to...
Didn't quite hear that evil scream.
Okay, I failed. I'm going to use XP to roll again, because I've got tons of it. You can do this. You can do this. You can do this. I'm going to use that effort again. I failed again. No, it's just not meant to be. I rolled a 12.
Nice.
I'm going to apply my second level of effort.
Okay.
Does that mean I indicate effort is 2 since I used 1 before, or effort's still 1?
Effort would, if you're using 2, it's effort.
Gotcha.
At 2. I don't make you spend again if you're rolling again, if that's what you're asking.
All right.
I will also spend to bypass it.
Hey, rolled a 15, target number 15.
Nice. I hope you all like the art asset I made for this.
It's really neat.
Very good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is it coming up?
I put it on
Yes.
the screen.
Excellent.
That's the thing. That's what's coming toward you. What's up, new best friend?
Gherkin, are you seeing this? Actually, where is Gherkin? just the Gherkin.
I hope he's in the shell.
Gherkin
I ate him.
continuity
He was
check.
He was carbs. I ate him.
Oh no.
Gherkin has many carbs. All right, so who passed?
I did.
I bypassed.
Nice.
I did
If
as
you,
well. I did as well.
Okay.
Said 90's the only one who didn't.
Okay. So, anyone who didn't pass or bypass, I need you to take 7 points of intellect damage as a shriek pierces through you. It's unlike anything you've ever felt before because it's not external. It's completely internal. It's something that is within you. You feel it rattling up the cart into your feet, into your body. Carmine, I also need you to make this check as well, because you would definitely see all of this happening and feel it.
Could I use my other Cypher to give Senna +5 armor to intellect damage?
Now you could.
Yeah, I like to. Aegis of Knowledge. This white wispy fan, when used, creates a warding spell around your thoughts.
Yep, that'll be useful for later.
Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of see you start to like trance out there, so I whip the fan out and smack you on the head.
Yeah.
Because that's the proper use of the fan.
I only got
Right, yeah.
Pangoliath, you don't register anything happening at all, but Maeve and Munster, you definitely realize that something is coming from this creature, some sort of transmission, some sort of communication that just passed through you. As it passes overhead, many of the lightning strikes that are coming down, still revealing that blue mist, you can stare down into it, even from a distance. It seems like maybe some sort of radiation, or Katie. Katie's eating plastic. You can see some sort of radiation. It's almost as if the earth is lifting up under it, and you can see portals into something else happening. Yes. Carmine, how did you do on your roll?
I rolled a 2.
All right, yeah. You also take 7 points of intellect damage. Cool. And the person who you've hoisted over your shoulder just kind of goes to sleep in your hands. Just instantly knocked out.
Okay. Carmine, actually, that does impair me, so I am the hurt.
Yes. At this point, the racers, if any of you look behind you at all, the other racers are coming up as well, but their carts are swerving, falling to the side. They are collapsing, their birds getting knocked out. And the Arcalorians, it passes through them and over them, and they are not phased, nor is their bird phased at all.
They don't look surprised?
They actually begin pointing. Watching it go overhead, their cart turns and they start following it off the course. The Argalorians have left the race.
Huh.
They head east.
I point this out to Pangoliath.
I point this out to Senna.
Okay, so we, on our trajectory of the race, are not headed east.
No, you'd be heading west, back into the city.
Well, I have to win the race.
But okay. We know that whatever spell they cast was east adjacent.
Yeah, I think we figured out what they're actually after here.
Okay, I yell to Pangoliath, who is probably in the lead at this point. I go, Pangoliath, keep up the good work, and I'm gonna hang a hard right and follow them. Yeah, off the path. Yeah.
This is one of those things, yeah, where like Luke Skywalker turns off the targeting computer, and
yeah, this is that moment.
Satan, take the wheel. All right, let's do this.
Where are you going?
Following the trajectory of the race. If this thing kills me, then well, I die trying to win. That's what.
Then me and Senna are chasing after
Pangoliath and Maeve head off in the direction to win the race. Meanwhile, Sedna and Munster head off in the direction of what appears to be the Owl of Lysia.
Did we see Carmine in the forest?
Oh yeah, you passed right by them.
Like
on the edge. Okay. They were like, I'll see you later, and like preparing glowing chains.
They're probably doing their own thing still.
So The following is what Sedna sees and Munster sees. As you pursue this destructive force of energy that flies across the sky, only visible by the lightning bolts that are coming down from the cloud above it, and the Argolorians that are in hot pursuit, you see there's a flash as the Argolorians on their cart are joined by a third figure, tall with three pointed crests at the top of its head, this half-doomed priest that joins it. You watch as their speed increases. They move out their hands almost in unison, or rather in unison, it's very creepy, taking off the rings on their fingers, which were gifted to them by Pangoliath. They hand them off to the priest, who takes them, folds them into its hands, crumples them, and casts a spell, suddenly releasing into some sort of ladder that is very long and hard, points it up, and then releases, sending the thing careening into the center of this creature, of this thing. Meanwhile, Pangoliath and Maeve, go ahead and roll me a speed defense or speed roll. You're against a couple of other racers at this point.
Okay.
You just need to keep up the speed. Your bird is, I don't want to call suffering, but it's a little winded at this point.
All right.
A lot of things have happened.
So I'll apply effort. Takes me a little low, but I still have some in the tank. I have my piloting enhancer for speed-based tasks. And I have endurance, if endurance helps. It would enable. There's no flex lore that I'm going to apply on this, so let me give it a shot.
For an asset, I'll use hedge magic to make it seem like more of those like blue mist open spots are opening up behind us. So maybe if the others don't make some sort of intellect defense roll, they'll like swerve around them, go off the track,
Yeah,
lose speed.
absolutely. Go ahead and roll.
Nat 20.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Put my force.
Awesome. So, Forest of Endor.
Discharge. Ewok dance.
So, in your carriage heading forward, not only do you avoid these openings into some unearthly realm opening up below you, and you're able to navigate them with excessive ease, but you're also able to cross the bridge and get to the city limits before anyone else does. What would you like for your major effect?
I want to win the race, but what I want is to draw the attention of the Owl of Lysia onto my amazing racing abilities. I am the chosen one.
In the middle of the city?
So, hypothetically speaking, if I couldn't give you that immediately, what else would you want?
Oh, I want to win the race.
Okay.
That's what I want. Right. And I want it to be one of these things, too, where it's not even a photo finish. It's just kind of like Secretariat, the famous racing horde. 10 horse lengths ahead of the other horses. We've never seen anything like it. The greatest racer that ever lived. Who is that masked racer?
All right. That can happen. You definitely win. And one of the things that Maeve wanted to do, you see these other chariots falling into these holes where they don't come out of. But you all win the Prarenbark bird race, the annual one. Meanwhile, well, actually, I can make this cinematic. As you do cross into it, you said you wanted the attention of the Owl of Lysia. It provides fireworks for you. You hear with a bang, this flashbang, as the entire structure behind you appears to expand and explode into an array of mist and lightning. For more context on that, that's as soon as you enter the city limits. You win not long after that. Not by a mile, almost. Sedna and Munster, you see that ladder-like thing that had been shot into the air after this this creature, this gargantuan proportion of energy, that it hits the center. At some point, there's an explosion, the same one that that can be seen as soon as Pangoliath and Maeve are entering the city on Paranitis. I didn't pronounce that correctly. On their bird. So it explodes. And there's a lifting, another shriek. This one does not damage you, but you can see the clouds begin to part as this mass enters the clouds and slowly starts disappearing, the lightning chasing after it. Meanwhile, something in the center falls from it, following some last bit of lightning. This perhaps Theron-shaped creature, maybe, it's hard to tell, maybe masculine from this distance. It falls straight into a portal below, tumbling on the ground before it gets there, and then falls inward. The Argalorians arrive first. They look down. They are incredibly disappointed, as best you can tell. They look at you as you start approaching. They look between each other. They join hands, leaving only the cart behind, disappearing, as the rest of the portals around you begin closing up. You reach the spot where this figure fell from the sky, and it appears to be firm ground. And that's where we're going to end the session.
My. Wow.
Ooh.
So yeah,
No big deal, gang. We won a race.
Yeah.
Mhm.
you won the race.
I'll be honest. I was biting back. I was biting back. Me saying, "Monster jumps for a portal." It's like, is this what we're supposed to do?
Oh, if the
Or
person was falling to,
Yeah.
Sedna was going to race to catch them, but they fell through a
Yeah.
portal. So I was like, whew, okay.
Ooh.
I don't have to save anybody today. Not today.
We saved a race. We weren't murdered by royalty.
We weren't. Sedna put her competitive needs to the side.
Monster's
you.
gonna have to plant 10 trees to make up for the vine he broke.
That's right.
You gotta humiliate old
Yeah.
fancy pants.
So yeah, let's wrap up today. Who are you?
Ooh.
Where can we find you? Let's start in the same order that we did earlier. Let's start with Maeve's player, Ash.
All right, everyone. I'm Ash. I am Phoenix of 89, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. I think that's all the places. And yeah, it was a great game. I did not use a limb to stick into the spokes of someone else's chariot like I thought of. So that was good. That would have definitely been cheating.
You're a very good person, Maeve.
I know. I could have and I didn't.
Maeve is such a good Gantz.
You are such a good Gantz.
The best Gant. Let's go now to Grant, who plays Pangoliath.
Hey everyone, my name's Grant Ellis. I have a Kickstarter that has 4 hours remaining. If we get something like $3,500 in the next 4 hours, we'll unlock the next stretch goal. But the closer we get to that, we'll probably unlock it anyways. You can follow me on Twitter at WisePuppetGrant. If you're attending PAX Unplugged, hit me up if you see me there. I love talking to people that watch these shows. And I'll be next on Twitch, I believe, next Saturday, playing Miseries and Misfortunes on Eric Vulgaris' channel.
Nice. All right, let's go now to Ethan, who plays Carmine.
Hello, I'm Ethan. You can find me at Super Robot Bear on the Twitter, where I talk about the games I'm in and the games I'm making. I'm currently working on Gobs of Gobs, which is done, but I'm still waiting on confirmation from other stuff. But I will be releasing a Dungeon Delve card prompt game called One Last Fight soon from the NJAM 2019, run by Anarsis. So look forward to that. I play tested it. It's fun.
Wonderful. Let's go now to Yitzai, who plays Munster.
Hi, I'm Yutsai. This is really the only regular thing I do, though I'm always looking for more fun online. You can find me on Twitter at Saisu, Tsaisu. Other than that, not too much these days. Just trying to finish school.
My name is Marcy. You can find me here every other Sunday on Thursdays. You can find me with Dot on Unmade Gaming's channel, where we played Two Darlings in a Symbaroum game run by my partner Colin. And on Saturdays, you can find me on Goldheart Group, where I play a delightful trash fire named Zirin Quinn, who is never making decisions again after I invited 3 of the villains to the vault. I don't know how it's turning out, but the finale is next week, so I guess we'll find out exactly how. And actually, right before this game, you can also find me there as well, playing the Wind Daddy, as they call him, an Ergenasi paladin named Avinder Zaradvi for Derek's setting Legacy of Eldrin. That's me, and I'm going to pass it off to Dot.
Hey gang, I'm Little Red Dot. Thank you so much for coming out on your Sunday. We hope you enjoyed a quality Sunday race. May have not been NASCAR, but it was way better. I can promise you that. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you. If you supported, gave bits or tips, we appreciate that. That helps us pay the cast throughout the run of this show. And more importantly, there are non-monetary ways to support. Follow the channel. Go check out this Kickstarter. Follow these people online. These ways are just as important in spreading the word. So thank you again. And for all of you out there, if you would like to become more involved with the Dotlet, there are a few ways. The most upcoming one is going to be our Sunday Fun Days for the next 3 months. So signups are live for that. Oh, I didn't do the right thing. Let me try that again. Signups are live for that, and you can click right there and go check out. We're going to be playing some For the Queen. We're going to be playing some new Faith stuff. We've got Kids on Bikes coming up. So there's a lot of really fun things coming to Sunday Fun Day that you can sign up for free as long as there's a slot. So go check that out and get involved there. And you can always come join the Discord, because all these incredible folks are hanging out there, and we have a whole channel where we can just talk Owl of Lycia. I am taking a nice little break from streaming Tuesday and Wednesday nights here on the Dotlet, which is pretty usual while I prep throughout the holidays. So you can probably tune in for some GM prep that I'm doing, and you can definitely check me out right now as the GM for the North by Northwest podcast. That is where I'm spending a lot of my time, and I actually just got finished being there today. And when I'm not there, of course, you can find me on my other 2 home away from homes, which would be the Roll For It Network and, of course, Unmade Gaming, where I am, in fact, a darling amongst another darling. Yeah, that's it. Thank you all so much, and we will see you in 2 weeks' time for another Owl of Lycia. Bye, everybody.